Welcome back to Brothers Talking Sports. Is Week 15 previews and predictions. I'm here with Ezra and Shay. Guys, how are we doing today?
Doing well.
I'm pretty good.
That's great, Ezra. That's great. We missed you last week. You weren't here.
I know. I'm sorry. Do I spoil the news now or should I wait?
Well, I guess spill the news now. We didn't know you had news.
Well, you guys know, but nobody else knows. Next week, I will finally be back in person on air.
I was like, I didn't even know what you were talking about. I think we said it last week.
We might have said it last week, but I also didn't. I didn't post a pod last week, so sorry about that. That's all my fault. But it's not really too important. We will show the standings and when they come up. Guys, you ready to hop into the first segment?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
Wait, we need a recap of what happened last time. Quick recap.
What do you mean?
Because Ezra
that's right.
Recap. We did predictions. We also talked. Oscar did his top 32 coach or his ranked coaches.
I think it was a pretty fair list.
It was pretty good. Where'd you put John?
You should send me that list
again.
I'll send you the list.
Anywhere.
Actually, I don't think I have it.
Oscar put John Harbaugh at
I have the video
9 or 10 or something like that, and it was even funnier because it was after the Philly game, and it just makes your take so much worse, Ezra, that he's a top 3 coach or whatever you said.
Yeah, all right, he's not. I get it.
He's pushing top 10. He's borderline top 10.
If he was smart, he would get rid of his kicker because his kicker sucks.
Hey, don't shit on Justin Tucker.
Okay.
No, that's awful, Ezra. He's the worst kicker.
Yeah,
he should be fired.
He's been bad. If he was on any other team, I think he'd get cut.
Yes.
He was anybody else.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't
an all-pro kicker for years.
All right, let's do it. Should they be fired? So these are, I think, 7 to 8 coaches I put on this board coming up. I think all these have a case they should be fired. If I miss anybody, let me know, guys. Let's hop right into it. First coach, Antonio Pierce. Shay, I'll start with you.
Absolutely. He should not have gotten he should not have gotten a contract after last year. That was a player's hiring. One of his players wanted to leave. The team is falling apart. They're going to probably get the first pick in the draft. Right now, I think they're number 1. If they win another game, they'll
get top 30.
They're going to get one of the top picks in the draft. They're probably going to draft Shedeur Sanders, and they're going to hire Deion Sanders. No, they're not going to hire Deion Sanders. But Antonio Pierce should most definitely be fired. I would be shocked if he wasn't fired.
Yeah, I'll go next. I think he should be fired. Do I think he's the worst coach in the world? He's probably I think I did actually rank him the worst. So he is the worst coach in the league. Do I think he's that bad? No, but because him and Aiden O'Connell, I guess, have this weird thing because he's playing really well with Aiden O'Connell for some reason.
I don't think Aiden O'Connell's I don't think he's an awful quarterback.
Okay, I'm not going to say that, but Aiden O'Connell plays really well.
He has been playing well. They didn't do too hot last week.
He got hurt, I think.
I think he got hurt. Yeah,
he's not playing this week.
Yeah, it's Desmond Ridder. It's Desmond Ridder's revenge game.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He plays the Falcons, so we'll see that. But yeah, I think he should be fired. I just don't think. I think they need to bring somebody that elevates the scheme and the roster and what they do, and I don't think Antonio Pierce does that.
I don't know what Antonio Pierce is. What did he play? Did he play linebacker in the NFL?
Yeah, he played linebacker.
Maybe he's a defensive guy.
Yeah,
maybe you bring in an offensive guy. That's what the way teams are going nowadays. I would bring an offensive guy in.
So
you get Shedeur Sanders, you bring an offensive guy in, you go from there. That's what I would do.
Ezra, Antonio Pierce.
I think he's gone.
Well, this is not. Do you think he'll be gone? I also want to preface that. This is. Do you think he should be fired?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We move on here. Brian Daboll is next. Shay.
He should be fired.
Okay.
Brian Daboll should be fired. I just think it's kind of been an embarrassment for the Giants this year. I think the way they held Daniel Jones' situation and everything about it, I think he should be fired.
Ezra.
I'm going to agree for exactly those reasons. I like the guy. I don't think he's that bad of a coach, but with how everything went down and how bad this year has been, I think he should be fired, yes.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you guys. I don't think Brian Daboll should be the next coach next year of the New York Giants. It's going to be really hard.
I think Ezra said it the best. I don't think he's a bad coach.
I don't think so either.
I just think it's kind of like you could just tell when there's a time and place. It's like Matt Eberflus with the Bears. Is he an awful? He's probably a pretty good defensive coach. He knows what he's doing. But with the situation that was going on and everything, and all the Bears fans it was like, yeah, he's got to go. And Dable's
Yeah.
kind of gone down that path where Giants fans are like, he's got to go.
Yeah. Also, I think he's done actually an okay job with the roster he's given. Like I think the GM Joe Shane has done an awful job of constructing a really good
He
roster.
doesn't have anything to work with.
He has
The
nothing
team
to
is
work
awful.
with.
It's the worst roster in football,
Yeah.
I think.
So,
easily,
like-
with the injury, obviously they're so injured, but
Yeah.
right now they're definitely the worst roster. in
Yeah,
football.
they had the worst quarterback in the league. They have, bottom five offensive line right now. Some okay receivers. One of the worst defensive tackle groups in the league. The worst corner group. Like you just go, you have no top 5 positions. I mean, you don't even have top 15 positions outside of receiver.
The only thing you have good is you had a good rookie class last year, and you drafted
Well, this year.
some good. Well, that's like the rookie class that you drafted last year, the playing this year.
Yeah.
Tyrone Tracy, Malik Neighbors. I think they have a D tackle that's pretty good too.
Wesley Chapman's okay.
Like I think and what's his face too at safety, Tyler
Yeah.
Nubin too. So like it's just some solid guys that you could build off of in the future, and you're gonna obviously
Yeah.
build more in the draft depending on what you do. If you go quarterback route, which who knows what they'll do. You think they will, but you never know.
Yep. All right, we move on here. Doug Peterson. Well, should Doug Peterson be fired, Shay?
Yes.
Okay.
I think he had his run. He had his time in the league. He won that Super Bowl for Philly, obviously, and it was big. Philly, huge for them. But again, I think it's kind of become a thing where it's like Jacksonville, you paid a quarterback all this money, the roster, you're like, oh, they're a pretty good roster, and they've won 3 games. I know they've had it. Trevor Lawrence has been banged up, but everything that's going on, you win 3 games with a roster like that, usually equals fired. So.
Yeah. When it comes to Doug Peterson, I think he should be fired, but he's the one that I think could get a pass because Trevor Lawrence has been hurt. He's had his top receivers been hurt all year. Christian Kirk's been hurt most of the year. He's out. Who's the other one they have? Gabe Davis, isn't he hurt too? Right. So,
Evan Ingram was
Evan
hurt.
Ingram just got hurt.
yeah, they've had so many injuries. But I do think at the same time, what Doug Peterson's done schematically, they're very much a vertical team and not very, they don't like to spread out. They do like to spread out, but they don't, take short plays. And Trevor Lawrence, I think, is a good quarterback. And I think that Jacksonville they need a new face in there. And I think Doug Peterson is not it. But I could see him also getting a pass. I don't think he's the worst out of these bunch. I'm
going to say yes, he should be fired. Shay kind of hit it right the nail on the head. His time's up. He should move on or hang him up and call it a career.
Okay. We move on here. Next name. Oh, Mike McCarthy. Big Mike. Shay, what do you got for Big Mike?
Big Mike, know him all too well. Watched him coach for a while. Should he be fired? That's tough. This is tough. It's should he be fired?
Yes.
I'm gonna say yes. He should be fired. Will he get fired? I don't think he'll get fired, but I think he should be fired. Listen, I watched Big Mike for years with the Packers and with Aaron Rodgers and all this stuff, and it's Big Mike is really he's in the big games he struggles, and I think it showed with Green Bay. It showed with Dallas. He had issues in those big games, and I think last year was a make or breaker year for them. 2nd seed in the NFC. Packers coming in and they absolutely dominate you on all sides of the ball, every aspect of the game. It's like, yeah, I think Big Mike is kind of now I don't think he'll get fired, but I think he should get fired. I think his time in the NFL is up.
Ezra.
I'm going to actually say no. I don't think he should. They don't suck this year, but they've not played well. They looked really, really bad, and they look terrible at home. On the road, they're actually not a terrible team, and they've played a lot better with Micah Parsons being back. Sadly, Dak Prescott is done for the year, I'm pretty sure, and they don't have a QB outside of that. Cooper Rush is meh. Trey Lance is pretty bad, too. I think you give him next year, hope everyone's healthy, and they can have a complete roster and have a season out of it, and then make the call next year.
Yeah, Ezra, I'm going to agree with you on this one. I think Mike McCarthy shouldn't get fired. I think he's dealt with so many injuries. What was that?
Kenneth Walker's not playing this week.
Oh, okay. Shay just looked like freaking
'Cause-
Bill Belichick just got traded to Duke.
Because he's on my fantasy. I have Charbonnet.
But what you call it? Yeah, no, Mike McCarthy, should he get fired? No, I don't think he should. I think the roster has been I think their roster is pretty lackluster. I don't think that they're a really bad interior defensive group. And that's, I don't think, on Mike McCarthy at all. I think their roster, like, they just have really bad personnel up front. Great pass rushers, but the injuries, I think the Dallas this year it hurt them so much. Between Dak, DeMarcus Lawrence, Micah Parsons, the injuries have been on and on. CD's dealing with a shoulder injury the whole season. No running back on the roster that can carry the football. They have the worst. Like, there's so many holes on this team, and for them to even be 5-7 with all the injuries and all the holes, I think they've actually done an okay job this season. I think their personnel stinks. I think they're a bottom 10 roster.
I agree with you. That's why my point is, I don't think he's getting fired for this year. I think he should have been fired a season ago, because I think what happened last year and the way last season ended, he should have been fired for.
I get that.
This year, he's maybe saved it. They've won a couple games. Maybe he's saved himself just by winning those games with Cooper Rush. But I think of what happened last year and the way the season ended, and it's doubt. Listen, well, right now, I think Mike McCarthy's kind of slid down the hot seat. It's now gone to Jerry Jones. It's Dallas. They always are going to pick on somebody. And last year it was Mike McCarthy. That was the guy. He should be fired, this, whatever. I think he's kind of slid his way down. I think Jerry Jones is up the top of the list of he should be gone. He should sell they should bring
He's never going to do that.
Obviously not, but Cowboys fans want him gone. They want him out. But it's obvious he's the only who's never going to happen, but I'm just saying they want him gone.
Sure. I think Big Mike's done an okay job there for what he's been.
He's an okay coach. That's
what he's been done.
He's not good. He's an okay coach. I watched him for years in Green Bay. He's an okay coach. He's not bad. He's not good. He's just middle of the pack.
Zach Taylor, Shay.
See, now this is tough. Their offense has been phenomenal this year. Their offense has been great. Their defense has been historically bad.
Yes.
This one's really tough. This one's tough. Again, will he get fired? No, I don't think he'll get fired. Should he get fired, though? I'll say no. And I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that if his defense was playing a bit better, this team would be a lot better. But next year, I give him one more year, because if next year your defense improves a bit and then you're still not the best team, you're done. He's got to be fired right then and there.
Ezra, Zach Taylor.
I'm going to say no, he should not be fired. If you look at their losses this year, outside of week 1 to New England, and we know Cincinnati always loses week 1, their losses have been to Kansas City, Washington, Baltimore, Philly, Baltimore again, the Chargers, and the Steelers. All pretty good teams, all playoff teams, I think. Yeah. So, okay, the New England loss is bad. Moving forward, they've beaten the bad teams they've played, and then we'll see what happens this week and next week with Tennessee and Cleveland. But like Shay said, their defense is brutal. Their offense has played very, very well. I don't know if it's a skill issue on the field or a defensive coordinator issue or whatever it may be defensively, but they need to figure their shit out defensively and they'll be okay.
Yeah, I think this is a Cowboys situation, but a little bit reversed here. I think he should be fired. I do. I've never been a big fan of Zach Taylor. I know he comes from the Sean McVay tree. He's a great offensive mind. He leads the league in offense almost every year. But I don't think this is a lack of personnel thing. I know they got rid of DJ Reader this year, and they don't have that. But I don't think this is a lack of personnel thing.
But I agree with you again, though. He's an offensive guy. I know he's the head coach, and I know it's like, oh, it's weird. I think first you don't fire him, you fire the defense coordinator, you bring someone else in and see what you do there.
I don't think he's the problem. I think the
you don't think, then what do you think the problem is? What do you think? Because here's the thing, like you said, he's a head coach. He doesn't have I know this from Green Bay all too well. I had Matt LaFleur as the head coach, and I had Joe Barry as the defensive coordinator. Offense was good. Defense was awful, and yeah, Matt LaFleur didn't lose his job. He was a great coach. Joe Barry finally got fired. It's the same situation, I think, in Cincinnati. Think about this. If the Bengals were 8-5 right now, who would the MVP be of the league?
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, exactly. They have the MVP quarterback, and their offense is averaging probably 30 points a game or something like that. Offense is lights out. Now, their defensive struggles, obviously. The defense stinks, but I don't think he's the head coach. He doesn't build a roster. He also doesn't make any really isn't going to control.
This is the best team he's going to have. This is the best team he's gonna have. He ain't gonna have T. Higgins next year.
Well,
T.
yeah,
Higgins
but
will be
again,
gone.
that's where I think you give him another year, and I think you go on to next year because I think you also look at it. Who was the offensive coordinator for the Bengals last year? Brian Callahan, right? Where's Callahan now? Tennessee. What's going on over there? They suck, and their offense is awful.
They also have lack of personnel.
Yeah, but I think just to make you see,
they have lack of talent.
You lose
too.
your offensive coordinator, and your offense is still rolling. So I think he has a big thing to do with this offense being one of the best offenses in the league. I think you fired the defense coordinator. Like I said, I think this is a Packers situation. I think you fire the defense coordinator. I think you're going to have to draft defense. You're going to have to go defensively. See what he can do with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase next year.
See,
and if the defense improves.
Here's the thing. I don't think their offense is as good as people. I know it's the number one offense in the NFL. I don't think it's as good as people like put it out to be. I don't think so. I've watched them get shut out of games.
What games?
When they played the Giants.
They didn't play well against the Giants.
They did.
I don't even.
They scored
They played
10 points.
The Monday.
17, 17.
Yeah, but there was one of them was an offensive.
You have like one game. I want to look at the Bengals because
They played bad against the Patriots.
that was, listen. I don't count. Like week 1 is just preseason. Week 4. That week 1 doesn't count.
I get that,
for
but
anything.
I just think that there needs to be a head coaching change up front. I think, and I also think I don't think they run the ball enough.
Listen, the Bengals, they're like the Bills. They're never really able to run the ball. They throw it a lot. They've
Keep it
started
down. The
running
Bills
more.
like to run the ball, and look how that's turned out to
go
them.
back. So obviously that they play Kansas City. Would you say Kansas City's got a pretty good defense?
Yeah,
They scored. They put up 25 against Kansas City. And
but
again,
so did the Raiders.
they didn't play great that game. That division game different. They put up 33 against Washington. They lost 38-33.
Well, Washington has the worst defense.
But
like,
But I'm not. Are you going to put a 38-33 game on the offense? The reason
No,
you lost?
no.
They put up,
And the
they put up-
Steelers game was 44-38.
They put up 34 against Carolina. It's Carolina, but you won that game. You lost 41-38 to the Ravens. Are you going to go in the locker room and be like, "Oh, offense, you got to score 45 points to win us that game"?
No, I'm not saying this is like the offense's fault.
The Giants game, they struggled. Like they've had some games that aren't so good. 41 against the Raiders, 35-34 loss to Baltimore. I mean, 27 against the Chargers, who were up until that point. I mean, I think they've struggled more recently, but the Chargers are a very good defense. 38 against Pittsburgh. That's one of the best defenses in the league. And then 27 against Dallas's okay defense the other night. I think their offense is a good offense.
Well, they almost lost last week too. So it's,
No, they did, but I'm saying you scored 27 points and you won the game.
I get it.
I think Zach Taylor gets another year.
Gerard Mayo.
He fired. Get him off now. He's awful. He's fired him immediately. He said, "What did he say? His players aren't trying." What did he say about his players?
He called his players soft.
If you're a head coach calling out your own team, you're fired. That shows no maturity. You're gone. He should be fired right away. It was an experiment. You failed. I'm sorry. You tried to bring a former player in. Yeah, go somehow find a way to get Belichick back over in New England.
Ezra.
Yeah, no, he should not have a job.
He shouldn't have a job.
He's done.
That runs over. Goodbye.
Who did I say before was a really bad coach? Oh, Antonio Pierce. He's the worst coach in the league, Gerard Mayo. I think Pierce can be 31. He's 32.
No, he shouldn't be fired.
You're out of your mind.
Why?
There's nobody on this team. There's nobody on the offense.
It has nothing to do with the team's performance. It has nothing to do with the team's performance. It has nothing to do with that.
Oh, well, I'm looking at a team performance.
If you're calling your players soft, like calling out your players, like think of a head.
Yeah, but like look at the way they responded though last week. I know they took it really bad, but like the next week they played, they came out and with some fucking.
What head coach calls out his players? What head coach?
I don't know, and I wouldn't do it myself personally.
I think that's enough said.
But I think the play on the field has been pretty good for year one with Gerard Mayo, a rookie quarterback. Your best player, your best receiver being, your best weapon being Hunter Henry. Like, let's cut them a little slack.
I actually think their play hasn't been as good as you think. I think they should have won more games because I think Drake May's been playing pretty good. I think
he
should
has
have won more games.
But their lack of talent is holding them back.
Well, obviously they're not that good. But
They're all like they're pulling guys off the street to play.
I think without him as your head coach, you win a few more games in there.
I don't know.
Now, again, will he get fired? I don't know if he'll get fired. He just got hired. Should he be fired? Yes, absolutely. If you're calling your players soft as a head coach, if you are going out and blaming your players, and listen, you could blame we didn't play our best football today. You're a team. You say we, not they are soft. We're including me. We
get
are a
that.
soft team.
I get
And as a coach, it's the culture you're setting too.
Yeah,
Whether it's day-to-day
he
practice,
handled
whatever it
that
is.
like a child, not like a head coach, and that's not right.
I think that the play on the field has been not bad enough to where the point where you need to go out and go find another guy. That's just
now. I know you guys are Giants fans, so if you were if Brian Dable called player soft, you'd be like, he's right. They are soft. If you're if Matt LaFleur went out and said these guys we're soft, or their players are soft, I'd be like, Matt, what did you just I'd be like, no, time, you got to reconsider now everything right now because you're acting like a child.
I get that. I get exactly where you're coming from. I think the play on the field hasn't been so bad to where you have to fire him.
All right,
I don't know. That's just me.
I want to see where else we go if we got to.
We have Kevin Stefanski. I think he's the last one.
Really?
That's it.
Really?
I think he's the last one.
Okay.
There might be another one, but I think he's
All
the
right.
last one.
Here's the last one.
He should not get fired.
No.
No, he's a solid coach. He worked with Deshaun Watson all year, so I mean that's enough said.
Okay, Ezra.
They look pretty good with Jameis Winston. Besides the interceptions that Jameis throws, they look a lot better.
Kevin Stefanski.
Jameis is a 30-30 guy. He's going to throw the same amount of touchdowns as he does interceptions, but, I mean, they're not that bad. They're not good, but I don't think it's a head coach problem.
No, I don't think it is either. I think this is a personnel thing on the offensive line. Their offensive line is terrible. And also, their quarterback is also dog water, both of them. Jameis isn't too bad,
Winston's not dog water.
but Jameis turns the ball over too
Yeah, he
often
makes
for
mistakes.
him to be on here. I think that's it, Shay. Hold on, let's see. Yeah, that's it.
I'm surprised.
That's it.
Who else would you think would be on there?
Raheem Morris. You can't tell me the Falcons have not been disappointing, and their defense is letting up 30-something points. It's just
Well, I think also
30-something bombs.
Kirk Cousins has been
Have
playing.
you
Well, yes,
seen Kirk Cousins?
Kirk has been playing
Pro
bad.
football?
Yeah.
They still let up 42 to the Vikings last week. 42 points.
Well, it was 21-21 going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
It was
and-
The
21-21.
Vikings are also
and they
very
let
good
up
at home.
21. I don't care about it. They're good. If you're a defensive-minded head coach and you're letting up, it's like if you're an offensive head coach and your offense scores 3 points. I'd be like, okay, we need to really step back and look at things now. You're a defensive guy and you just let your defense go. This was supposed to be, guys. You remember they have Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons. This defense and
Yeah, but their defensive line is awful.
AJ Terrell. I mean, this team
Awful.
is this was the team that
Their
passed.
secondary is supposed to
They
be very good.
passed on
It is.
Jared Verse and went with Michael Penix because they thought their defense would be all right.
I understand.
Their defense is awful. It's bad.
Jared versus a stud.
It's exactly. Their defense is bad.
So
I get he's a first-year coach, but I think you need to step back and be like, is this the guy we wanted? I don't think he was a good hiring in the first place. I think you really got to step back and think, was that the best hire? Was this the guy?
get that. All right, let's move on to the leaderboards here. I am in first with 100 points. Ezra is in second with 98, and Shay is in third with 94. Shay, that week's really killing you.
I'm still in. I would be ahead of you guys by. I'd say I got like 10 points that week because everyone played. I'd be ahead of you guys.
Yeah. But I have jumped into first.
I'm only down by 6. I just need a couple good weeks. And
Past couple weeks, I have been doing very well. So I think I've won almost every single week the past like 3 or 4 weeks by 1 or 2 points, not by very much, but I've been winning. All right, we move on here to the first game of the week. The Carolina Panthers have a big showdown with the Dallas Cowboys. Ezra, what do you got?
I actually think this is going to be a good game. I'm going to take Carolina. They've looked pretty good the last couple games. Bryce Young's playing well. They played Kansas City, Tampa, and Philly, so it's kind of a tough schedule. But after beating the Giants, they've looked good. I'm going to take them here. They're actually favored at home, which is kind of surprising.
Shay?
It's the first time they're favored in 38 games or something like that.
It's a lot.
That's great. I don't care. I'm going to take the Cowboys. Listen, is Carolina improving? Yes, they're improving a lot. They've played some good games the past. I mean, you could look at them and be like, yeah, they're favored for a reason. You look at them and like, oh, this team's going to win a game like soon. They're due to win a game. I'm still just going to take the Cowboys and the overall talent being better on the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm with this one. I'm with Ez on this one. I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers. I think
I think a lot of people are with their Panthers.
Cooper Rush is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. They have no run game. They have a lot of things they need to clean up. And I just think that Carolina needs a win. They're gonna find one. I think they find one here against Dallas this week.
This one might have to be my upset. I'm just looking right now at like the other games going on.
Okay.
I'll get back to you on that, but
Cleveland and KC this week. Where are we going on this one, Es? What do you got?
I really want to take the Browns, but Kansas City's not losing this game. They're good. They're still good. They're always going to be good. I'll take Kansas City, unfortunately.
Shay?
I mean, there is one thing you could bet. It's probably going to be a one-score game. If I had to take a guess.
They've won the last 15
Do
of them.
you ever see the stat where it's like if the record is flipped, if one-score games went the other way, what the Chiefs' record would be?
Bad.
They would have 2 wins. If one-score games went the other way, they would have 2 wins.
That shows
So
just
what
how
that
good
mean-
they are.
That, what that means is that what's their record now? 12-1.
Yeah, they're very
Yep.
good.
12-1. That loss to the Bills wasn't a 2. That was not a one-score game, so they would have had that loss. So that means in 12 games have been one scores. They have won. Oh wait, now
Something's not adding up here, but I'll let him.
they've had 10 one-score games basically, and they would have lost all of the other one. They would have lost all those then, and they've had 2 non-one-score games then that they've won.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'll still take the Chiefs. By the way, I'll take the better football team. But again, one-score game.
Yeah, I'm going to take KC here too. I just think the Browns aren't talented enough to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and they're just not well coached. Nobody's well coached enough to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. It's hard, man. It's hard to do this. It's hard to go out there and beat
It's
KC
coming.
every week.
Someone's beating them this year. They're not winning the Super Bowl this year. Someone is
I'm
beating
telling
them
you,
this year.
dude.
Someone is beating them this year.
I'd be very shocked if they don't make it to the AFC Championship game.
No. Again, I'm not saying I'm not saying AFC champ. I'm saying someone is I think someone is beating them, whether it's in the Super Bowl someone is beating them this year.
We might play the game of who beats KC next week.
Someone is beating them this year.
We might play that game. All right. We usually play it one every week. All right. Texans and Dolphins this week. What do we got, Ez?
If this was in Miami, I'm taking the Dolphins, not even thinking about it, but it's not, and the Dolphins aren't great on the road. Thankfully, it is
Ezra,
not going
this
to be
is in
cold
a
out.
do-
They
it's
don't
in
have
a
to worry
dome.
about that.
It's in a
The
dome.
weather will not be
It's indoors.
cold.
It's the same weather.
will
I
not be.
promise.
I don't know. I'm going to take Houston. I think the Dolphins are not a playoff team, and this week will show.
Still haven't gone over the playoff picture, but maybe we'll do that next week. We got to play a couple games maybe next week. Shay, what do you got?
This is the big game for the Dolphins because if they win this one, I think the rest of their schedule, the rest of the ways, they play the Jets. They still got to play the Jets again. Like this is the tough one they got to get through. If they get through this one, there's a chance they could win out and go. I think it's 10-7, right? Yeah, 10-7, which would get them in the playoffs. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. Gives you a shot to get in the playoffs. At that
Definitely
point.
does.
Gives you a chance to get in the playoffs. I actually think Miami has a good shot in this game. I think this is a close game. I'm going to take Houston, and for one reason only. Houston is off a bye, and that's why I'm going to take the Texans. That is my only reason. I think if Houston wasn't off a bye, I'd probably take the Dolphins, but I'm going to take the Texans off the bye and Miami off a close win against the Jets.
I'm going to take Miami this week. I'm going to be a little ballsy here. I just think...
I don't think Houston's that good. I can see this game really going either way. I think
Houston's not a very good football team. I've seen them play a couple weeks.
Miami has the better quarterback this year. This year, before everyone starts screaming and saying,
Tua's played like a top 10 quarterback.
Tua's been good.
He
This year.
was like almost 20 touchdowns, 4 picks.
You know what you're getting with Tua. He doesn't have a huge arm. He makes some he throws some bad balls, but he's pretty, for the most part, he's pretty accurate, and he can move you down the field.
Yeah.
This is a playoff team if he's healthy the full year. This is a
Oh,
playoff.
100%.
What are they right now? They're 6-7. They're probably 8-5.
I think they played Tennessee and lost to Tennessee.
Yeah, they lost. They lost a couple of close games. This is an 8-5 team.
Yeah,
or so. Like this is a team fighting for the playoffs. Like
this is a good football team. And their defense has actually played better this year probably than last year. So I'm gonna take Miami this week.
Not in the cold weather either. So
it's true. All right, Jacksonville and the Jets here. As what do you got? Just come on. Let's.
I feel bad for the Jets. They almost won last week. They almost figured it out and got something accomplished, and then blew it.
The Jets almost won a lot.
I'm going to take my upset as the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Really?
The Jets are still bad.
Jacksonville.
I know the Jets are bad. I know the Jets are bad. This is Mac Jones and the completely
And Mac Jones got a win last
Jacksonville
week.
Jaguars. Yeah, he played the Tennessee Titans. The Jets are bad, but they're too good to lose this. They're
Way too good.
Their roster's too good to lose this game. They'll win this. They should be able to hand the ball off and win this. Like, they'll win this game. Aaron Rodgers also played good last week. He was not the reason they lost. He played pretty good last week.
Yeah, I'll take the Jets too. I think the Jets are they're way better than the Jaguars are right now, and I think the Jets, you can't lose to the Jaguars, who are just not as talented as you in so many ways. With injuries and everything like that, I think that there's no way the Jets lose. Is this your upset this week?
You just said
Yes, it is.
Okay, alrighty. I just want to make sure it's your upset. Okay, we move on. Commanders and Saints this week. What do you got?
Commanders, they won last week. Was it last week? No, 2 weeks ago. Sorry. Yeah. So they're off a bye, I'm pretty sure. All right.
they are.
Yep.
They are.
They're off a bye. Yeah. They're off a bye. They are going into New Orleans. Nice weather. Nothing really to complain about. They're not great on the road, but I don't really care. The Saints are bad. Saints haven't looked great. They beat the Giants in a game they should have lost the Giants. Let's not really get into that. Yeah. Washington.
As you just rambled right there for about 2 minutes.
A
whole lot of nothing.
I can put it pretty short. I don't like either of these teams. The Saints don't have a quarterback. I don't even know who's starting for them this week. Washington's the better team. They'll win this game pretty easily.
Yes, Shea summed it up pretty there. They're so bad, like, everywhere. They have no receivers. They have MVSs and warners. Like,
I think their defense might be
they're so banged up. No, their defense sucks, too. The Giants just suck. Their defense sucks, too. Everything sucks about them, except for, like, Demario Davis. He's a good player for them.
Remember when they were 2-0 and we were talking about making the playoffs?
Him, Alvin Kamara, Demario Davis and Alvin Kamara, like, they're only, like, really two good players.
I remember when Oscar said the Saints would make the playoffs over the Packers. Look where that.
And we move on. Giants and Baltimore.
Skip it. Just skip it to the next
You
one.
want me to keep this quick? We're locking the Ravens.
Skip it to the next one. We don't even want to talk about this game.
I have to write it down. Hold on. Give me a second. I'll keep them on the screen.
We're all locking the Ravens
Baltimore
by a
locked,
lot.
Baltimore locked. Baltimore locked.
Mm-hmm.
Bengals and
Take Baltimore and the -16 too. It's not just take Baltimore.
yeah,
take
take
them
the
with
points
the
too.
spread.
Yeah, take them with the points too. Whatever it is.
And maybe the under. The final might be like 31-3. So
Yeah,
you
whatever
get
it
the
is.
spread and the under ends.
The Bengals and Titans this week, guys. What do you got?
Bengals, better offense. Don't care about the defense. Next.
Are we all taking Cincy here?
Of course.
Okay. Yeah, Joe Burrow's just they're a lot better than Tennessee. They're just, again, teams are just better at this point. I mean, there's not much more to say. We know what teams are at this point in the league. Cardinals and New England as
I will take the better team in Arizona. They usually play well at home, but Geno Smith just owns them. So last week didn't go so well.
Shay.
Yeah, Cardinals have been struggling. I mean, listen, I said this a few weeks ago when everyone was like, "Oh, they're 6-4. Look at them go." I'm like, they're really not that good. They just had a few wins. They're really not the best team. Kyler's an all right quarterback, but they're better than the New England Patriots. Off 3 straight losses, they'll win this one, I think.
Yeah, they're a lot better than New England, and a lot of different factors. So it'll be hard to lose this one this week. All right, this is for kind of a playoff spot, if New England wins. If Indianapolis wins,
this is a possible 7-seed wild card spot.
Broncos and Indy this week. What do you got?
I'm gonna take the better quarterback and go with Denver.
So which one's the
Really
better
like
quarterback?
Okay.
Anthony Richardson is a stud.
Mm-hmm. He's not better than Bowman.
He's a tall glass of water type of stud.
He's not better
He
than
is
Bowman.
not a tall.
Bowman.
That is the worst way to describe Anthony.
He is a
Richardson.
tall glass of water.
How is he a tall glass of water?
Look at you! Don't want to drink that, man. You don't want to drink that, man.
First of all, that's weird. So when I think of tall glass of water, I think of old, reliable. Anthony Richardson probably the opposite of. Think of what is water? Consistent, reliable. You know what you're getting from water every single time.
I don't think we're talking about the same thing. I'm not talking about football. I'm talking about Anthony Richardson as
his looks.
Yeah. Look at that man.
Weirdo.
6'5", 265, and moves like a Mack truck.
That's weird.
Tall glass.
That's weird.
That's what he is. He's 6'5", 265, moves like a Mack truck.
He is, but that you're saying talking about his looks is a little weird.
Look at that man.
Yeah, that's
Look at
weird.
that. Look at that man. Okay, which quarterback would you rather have? Those scrawny little Bo Nix or a freaking 6'5", 265 tall glass of water?
I'll take the one that wins football games, and I'll take Bo Nix.
Okay, you don't know anything about them. You look at their physical features. You'd rather have freaking Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, he's going to be my running back or my tight ends. He's not playing quarterback.
Okay, you line these two up. You have no idea who you will have.
I take him. Does well. Knows the game. Plays the game right. Meant smart.
This is a pointless conversation. So Ezra, you're taking Denver, right?
Obviously, he's a better quarterback. What do you mean?
Shay,
I actually almost want to take the Colts because it's interesting. But I'll take Denver. They're home. And I'm not going to take Denver because of Bo Nix. I'm going to take them because their defense. That's what I'm going to take them for.
defense is trash.
Denver's defense?
Yeah.
No.
Jameis
Denver's
Winston let
defense is
them.
off a bye.
Yeah, because it's Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston almost fucking put 50 on him.
Yeah, but you know how many pick sixes that defense got for them? 2.
Yeah, because Jameis is blind.
Yeah, but their defense creates turnovers and makes plays and does a good job.
Yeah, I'm taking Denver here too. I just want to make things interesting. I don't know. I think Denver's a really good football team. I don't think their defense is as good as they would like to say. I think there's definitely holes in the back half of the secondary, but they're
I agree with you. Yes, like their secondary is.
I know Pat Surtain's a stud, but like you could pick on some other their corners and they're not very good. So, but Denver's got a lot of lack of roster issues, but they're doing a really good job of hiding it this year.
Off a bye too.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job of this year, and I think the Colts. Anthony Richardson has played pretty well throughout these past couple weeks, making more plays with his legs than ever. As I'm watching him each week, I think he's growing as a quarterback, and I think the team is growing around him. They need some more help on the outside, though. Michael Pittman isn't a number one wide receiver. He's a nice number two, but
I don't even think Michael Pittman's like they're a top like 3 receiver for them. They got Alec Pierce. They have Josh Downs. I don't even think Michael Pittman is like. I want to know Michael Pittman's stats this year. That's what I'm curious about. Because I don't think is he even playing? Is he hurt?
I have no idea, Shay.
You just said
Michael Pittman?
Yeah. I don't
Hold on.
know if Michael Pittman plays. No, he's not hurt.
He's healthy. Let's see.
I was gonna say I'm pretty sure I've seen him out there.
Yeah, I'll
His
take
last game, 7 targets, 5 catches, 42 yards,
Yeah.
no touchdown.
He has 40,
Against the Lions,
He has 46
7
catches,
targets, 6 catches, 96, no touchdowns.
500. He has 550 yards and 2 touchdown catches on the season.
And he leads the team in receiving, right?
No way.
I don't.
It's got to be close.
2 seconds.
Alex Pierce has to be up there because he's had some high.
It's Alex Pierce.
Yeah, it's
Alec Pierce.
How much?
And Downs is second. Pierce,
Okay.
Downs, and then Michael Pittman.
But how much does the other two have in receiving?
Pierce has 645.
Pierce is at
Downs
645.
594.
So it's close.
I mean, it's a spread out. It's a spread
Yeah.
out ball. But again, they also just drafted Adonai Mitchell. If one of those receivers were to let go, I think Pittman's probably the guy he goes.
No, yeah, probably.
He's the next. He's gone, and they'll keep Mitchell. Then they'll have Pierce, Downs, and Mitchell as the receivers.
Their T-backs also aren't the best.
Pittman is targeted the most too.
Yeah, of course. That's why I kind of consider him the number one because he's been targeted the most.
And second in catches.
So.
Pierce only has 29 catches for the most yards. That's a good number.
He's a big deep threat. All right, probably the game of the week. These back-to-back games, I'll turn on the TV. Bills and the Lions this week. Let's start with you before I kick it off.
All right. So it's kind of a game of when Detroit can lose. They lost week 2 against Tampa at home, and then have won ever since and looked really, really, really good. The Packers game was close. That was a good one to watch. The Bears game was close. That was a good one to watch. But they're divisional games, and usually they are close, and that's how that works. I don't know what to do because Josh Allen's played out of his mind.
Well, I promise you, Ezra, you have a 50-50 chance. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take Buffalo here.
You think this game's 50-50?
No, but
Just because you got 50-50 chance of getting one right?
yeah, you pick.
Pretty much. Yeah, I mean, I could flip the coin, but
Shay?
I am with Ezra on this one. I am going with the Buffalo Bills off the loss. Lions. Listen, the Lions are a very good team. I'm no discriminating against the Lions. Okay. However,
you don't like them.
I still hate the Bears more than I hate the Lions. I despise the Bears. However, I don't think the Lions. I think the Lions have one weakness, and it is Dan Campbell himself, because he just makes some decisions that aren't the smartest. And while it worked against the Packers, they lucked out and they got it to go. They went 4 for 5 on third down. If they would have not gotten one of those fourth down, if they went 3 for 5, which still 60% is good, they lose that game. And I think Dan Campbell makes some decisions going for it on his own 30-yard line on 4th and 1 or 4th and 2. Yeah, and not getting it comes back to hurt. And I just think the Lions have more issues. Now they're injured too on defense. I think Buffalo goes in there and gets the job done this week.
I think Buffalo's just more talented. Like, honestly, they're just more talented.
Okay,
right now, without injuries.
There's a difference. The Lions have the better roster. The Lions are better.
Yeah, but they're injured.
Now, even still, they're better. They have the best.
No. Not if you look at the Buffalo Bills, they're more talented than
talented, yes, because they have Josh Allen, because they have receivers. I mean, that's really all. But if you're talking about roster, the Lions are the best roster in football. There's nobody better than the Lions roster.
Yeah, but right now their roster isn't that good. Who's their best pass rushers is Darius Smith, and then they got nobody's at defensive tackle. So they're pulling guys off the street.
Yeah, so they just blitz. They have nobodies. They have whatever O'Connor, whoever that guy is. That guy is a stud. I don't know who that is.
Bum. Any good freaking
bum? Did you see what he did last week?
Yeah, he pitched a bad center. I don't know what deals.
He gets off the ball faster than anybody I've ever seen in my life.
Because he's small and scrawny. Like,
he got off the ball faster than I've ever seen in my life.
It's not very big for a defense line. I don't know.
Listen, I think Buffalo wins this game, but for you to say that the Buffalo is a better roster than the Lions?
Yes, right now they do.
What position groups do the Bills have better than the Lions besides quarterback?
Quarterback?
What else?
I think they're better receiving wise.
The Bills?
What?
Do you have who's the Bills' number 1 wide receiver?
Amari Cooper.
He ain't better than Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Amon-Ra St. Brown's a slot merchant that gets the ball fed to him all the time.
Who's the Bills' number 2 wide receiver?
Khalil Shakir, okay, and I'll take James Winston any day of the week.
Even if you want to take Khalil Shakir over Jameson Williams. Okay.
I think they're just deeper. The Bills.
Where?
At receiver.
Who is the Bills' number 3 receiver then?
Tim Patrick.
That's the Lions' number 3 receiver.
Oh.
Matt Collins is
Collins, Keon Coleman. Like, they're just deep at receiver.
Coleman and Matt Collins.
They got some depth.
It doesn't matter how deep you are.
They're better at tight end.
The Bills?
Yeah, Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid
are not better than Sam Laporta.
They're a better group.
Oh my God.
They're a better group.
It doesn't matter if a better group. Both of them don't. First of all, Dalton Kincaid hasn't played in 2 weeks. He isn't on the field.
They're a better group than the Lions.
He's hurt, so he hasn't played. So it's Dawson Knox versus Laporta. I'll take Laporta over Dawson
Knox. I will too, but I'll take
Let's go to the defensive side of the ball. Who has the better safeties? I'll take Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch over the Bills safeties.
Yeah.
Who are their corners? Who are the Bills' corners? They got Taron Johnson.
Yeah, I'll take the Bills' corners.
Who else do they have besides Taron Johnson?
Davis.
The Lions corners are ass. Like, they have Terrion Arnold. And like, he's not very good.
Carlton Davis
he's a rookie.
Hasn't been great, I will say.
They're not very good. And their defensive, the Bills have definitely a better defensive tackle group, better edge rush group.
Linebacker wise, the Lions are hurt, and I think I'd still take the Lions.
The Lions have a very good linebacker
even
group.
with being hurt.
But I'm saying I would give the edge to the Bills.
We just named the entire roster, and there was like 3 things you said the Bills are better.
That's
offensive line is not even close.
No, I think they have a better offensive line, and their offensive line isn't banged up.
The Bills are better at quarterback, defensive line, secondary. Maybe.
I think receiver and tight end they're better too. I know you guys say that's outrageous. But the Bills are
that is wild.
Jameson Williams.
I'm a Packer fan, and I'm telling you the Lions are better.
I think the Bills are very good. I think the Bills are a very good football team.
If their defense was so good, why did they just give up 45 points last week?
Because they went into a trap game. They just won a.
What?
You know who else went into a trap game? The Lions. And guess what? They won. They won that game. They beat the Packers. As much as
That game-
I don't know if the Lions should have beaten the Packers.
That game wasn't impressive of a win to me for
It
the
wasn't
Lions.
as impressive, but you know what it was? It's like the Chiefs. Are any of the Chiefs' wins impressive? No, but they won.
No.
The Lions went in against who I will say most people probably thought the Packers were going to win, and the Lions got the job done. They
That's
got
true.
it done. The Bills did not get it done.
But I've still also I don't know. I've seen the Lions also play down to the Bears level.
Divisional game. That's the divisional game. Against
Still, the Bears are ass.
The Bills played down to the Jets. The Jets almost beat the
The
Bills.
Jets are close to talented as the Bills. The Bears are not talented at all.
The Jets have 3 wins. As much as we wanna say
I know that, but you look at up
Listen,
and down their roster, it's
no,
talented.
There's no disagreement about the Bills. I think the Bills are going to win this game. I just think you're a little crazy to say that the Bills are a better roster than the Lions. The Lions are the best roster in football.
When healthy. They're not healthy right
They're
now.
healthy. Who's hurt
But they're
for
still
them?
playing at
They have
the
like
best
14
team
guys
level.
Besides a couple guys, their linebacker. They're hurt at linebacker. We still would take the Lions linebackers over the Bills.
I
And
like the
they're hurt.
linebackers, yeah.
And they're hurt, so that's where they're hurt. And they're hurt on the D line. They have no Aiden Hutchinson and a couple D tackles. And because of that, the Bills are better because a couple of D linemen, they're
Yes.
better. You're crazy. I don't even know what you're saying. That's awful. That's an awful take.
I don't think it is.
That is an awful take. That's awful. That is. I think Ezra agrees with me. That's awful. That is awful. They have a better.
All I know is if you post that on TikTok, there will be 150 comments about making podcast equipment more expensive.
You'll get some agreements because there's some crazy Bills fans that just say whatever they want. They're like Eagles fans. They just say whatever comes to their mind and they go and they just say it.
I just think the depth of the Bills is
The
pretty
depth, the depth, because they have a wide receiver 4. They're deep.
good.
They're deep. You couldn't name. Could you name like 4 Bills defensive linemen?
Ed Oliver,
They got 1.
Von Miller.
Exactly. Von Miller, not good anymore.
No, he hasn't been good.
Exactly.
He's better than whoever the Lions throw out
Could
there.
you name anyone? I'll take Zadarius Smith over Von Miller right now.
Yes, I will too.
Could you name the other edge rusher for the pass rusher for the Bills?
Could I name the other?
Yeah, exactly. You shut up until you can name the other pass rusher. It's Gregory Rousseau.
That's what I thought it was. Okay,
stop talking.
I wasn't
And
sure.
you
I
didn't say
wasn't
it.
sure if he got traded or
You
not.
didn't say it.
True, I didn't say it. All right, we move on.
Jesus.
Chargers in Tampa. What do we got? Is
Jesus. Is it my turn?
He said
I just said yes.
Are we done arguing?
We were done arguing. I just said it.
Done with his outrageous statement.
I'm done with that. My outrageous statement to you guys. Got a lot of games to go through still.
I'll take the Chargers.
Chargers.
Period. Moving on.
What's
Good team.
this game is in LA.
Yeah.
My pen just stops working at the best times.
Is J.K. Dobbins back?
No, he's on
Um,
IR.
Give me Baker Mayfield, and has been a very good quarterback this year. Give me the Bucks.
This one's
on IR.
tough.
Matt McConkey is questionable, and he
That's a
was
big one.
limited.
That's a big one. If McConkey, he is. I mean, we watched him against the Chiefs.
Quinn Johnson's a stud, man. He played well last week.
He played, but again, if you Lad McConkey, that's your number 1 receiver. If Lad McConkey's out, that's big. That's big time for them,
It's big. It's big.
especially when Dobbins is hurt. Because if you can't run the ball and you can't throw the ball, you can't win football.
I'm gonna take the Chargers. I'm gonna go against you guys. I'm gonna take the
Ezra took the
Chargers.
Chargers.
Oh my god.
I did take the Chargers.
I took the Bucks. I took Baker Mayfield, top 5 quarterback in the NFL.
Battle of Pennsylvania,
You don't even
Philly,
want to get into my top quarterbacks in the NFL. The list
Oh,
gets
no.
crazy.
Philly and Pennsylvania. The Battle of Pennsylvania, Philly and the Steelers. Ezra, what do you got?
Really good game. I think two teams hate each other just because they're both in Pennsylvania. Philly is really, really good, though. I'll take Philly. And I hate the Birds, but I'll take it.
Ezra's
If they could be-
taking Philly. Shay.
They could be Kansas State.
For once,
would be
Oscar,
happy.
for once, I'm going to agree with you. The Steelers are going to win this game.
Steelers are better.
Steelers are going to win this game.
Steelers are a better team.
Eagles, again, this is one of those games. The Eagles have
Ow.
what?
I don't know if I can take Pittsburgh.
Why? Because George Pickens is
George Pickens is out. That's their offense. Like it's run the ball, throw the ball deep to
I'm telling you, the Eagles scored max 20 points this week. The Eagles don't do anything on offense.
well, their offense stinks outside of Saquon Barkley.
That's
Like their offense is like really bad.
This is Mike Tomlin. You know what he's going to do? He ain't letting Saquon Barkley go for more than 70 yards.
I know.
He is walling this guy off.
I know.
He's going to make Jalen Hurts beat them. Let's think of times earlier in the year when Jalen Hurts had to throw the ball a lot. 4 games, he threw it over 30 sometimes. He threw 4 picks. He's not doesn't have the he's good. He's not great. Make Jalen Hurts beat you.
Yeah.
Steelers better coached.
I do. I'll take the Steelers too, but I could very well see them losing this game without George. But
I'm still
George,
not hating on the Eagles, but I'm still like they're good, but they're beatable. Stop the run, they're beatable.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just not. They're not. They're too Saquon.
Has Russell Wilson lost the game?
No.
Has he lost the game? Has Russell
Yes, they lost to Cleveland.
The
Yeah, they
Browns
lost in
a
the snow game.
in a snowstorm. I'll take Russell Wilson and the Steelers.
Green Bay and Seattle this week, guys.
Geno looks really good, but it sucks that the Packers are a better team, and I will take the Packers.
If this game was in Green Bay, I think I'd take the Packers by about 20. But it's in Seattle,
Yeah.
so it changes it so much more because Seattle's a tough place to play. The Packers don't play well in Seattle.
It's pretty easy to play in Seattle.
Oh, why?
This year it's actually been easy to play in
Because the
Seattle.
If
Giants.
the Giants won in Seattle,
The Packers traditionally don't do too well in Seattle. I don't know. It's just it's usually a tough place to play.
the Giants go in Seattle, anybody go in fucking
But
Seattle.
I'll take the better football team in this game. I'll take the better quarterback, the better offense. I don't know about the better defense because Seattle's defense has played pretty well recently, but I'll take the better team and coached better. Definitely, I'll take the Packers.
Yeah, I'll take Green Bay too. I think they're just a better team all around.
Yeah, off a loss and a mini bye, I think it's just kind of.
It's gonna be hard to lose this season.
Seattle's 4 in a row too. They've won 4 in a row.
They're good. Seattle's a good team.
They're
too.
better than I thought. They were at a point. I'm like, oh, they're not that good. They're better than I thought.
They're a pretty good team. I actually
because their defense picked it up.
yeah, their defense has played well the past couple of weeks, so they're getting there. All right, Bears and Vikings this week. Ezra, what do you got?
I really want to see Sam Darnold not win and their streak come to an end.
Why?
But the Bears
Why do you want to see
How
Sam
can you hate
Darnold not
Sam
win?
Darnold? It's
What
Sam
the
Darnold.
fuck is wrong with you?
I go to school with a bunch of Vikings fans and
That is
can't
true.
stand it.
That is
That's
true.
All they
Good point.
do is talk about how
Good
good the Vikings are. The Giants fucking suck.
That's a good
Ezra,
point.
I can promise you the Vikings are going to lose in 2 weeks. You could talk to them. Actually, you won't even be there when it happens. So you can't even.
I
say
will not
anything.
But they will lose to the Packers. I like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take the Vikings.
Shay,
I almost see if the Bears gave me any glimpse of hope last week against the Niners.
that actually gave me less hope.
Yeah, exactly. I would have been like, I'm on the Bears. Boom, let's go. We're rolling. That game was embarrassing, especially because I just watched the Niners.
The Niners are ass.
The Niners are bad. I will take the Vikings in this game.
Yeah,
I want to take
yeah.
the Bears because it's again. I think that is this game close. I think it might be close. It's a divisional game. The Bears play all these teams close, but it just sucks because I would have hope if the Bears played better last week.
Guys, Sam might win the division. He's getting there.
They're keeping it up.
He's just got to beat the Lions. That's it.
But again, I think the Packers steal it again when they play the Vikings the next time. I think they take it from the Vikings. But again, if the Lions lose this week, then it's all up in the air because then it really comes down to that. Then it comes down to that when they play each other.
Falcons and Raiders this week, guys. I don't think anybody should be awake for this game. I don't think anybody
There's
should
2
be
Monday
awake.
night games
Wow.
this week, right?
Yeah, there's 2 of them. Unless you're a Raiders or Falcons fan,
take
don't
the
don't
Falcons.
turn on.
I
this
will take the
game.
Falcons, and I would be generally shocked if the Raiders won. I don't think the Raiders are trying to win.
Ezra.
This would be the game to start Michael Penix. This would be the game.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
No, they're not, but this would be the game.
No,
With how,
So
with
Aiden
how,
O'Connell
with how
is
bad
not
Kirk
practicing.
Cousins is. Aiden O'Connell's not playing. It's Desmond Ritter. He's starting. I think they already
Desmond
said it.
Ritter. Yeah.
They already announced it.
Well, all right, fine. Yeah, I'll
Which
take
makes
the-
me even more certain I
Yeah.
want to take the Falcons because Desmond Ritter's not.
If
a good
Aiden O'Connell is
quarterback.
playing, I'm taking Baker.
Yeah,
I
I
think-
agree. I don't think Aiden O'Connell's that bad, but Desmond Ritter's not very good.
I think Kirk Cousins goes 20 for 23 this week, throws for about 350 yards
Yeah,
and 4
he
touchdowns.
probably has a bounce back game, but it might be too late because you had the division. You were 6-3. Now you're 6-7, and you're probably not going to win the division. So just like that, they're the Falcons. They'll probably go 8-9 or 9-8 and just miss the playoffs because that's what the Falcons do. Keep it close until that last game of the season, and then they lose.
Yeah, I don't know. We do. I want to play Who Wants to Beat the Kansas City Chiefs, but we might have to do the playoff picture next week probably. All right, that's another episode, guys. Do you have anything else?
We're getting close. We got 4 weeks left.
Yeah, we're getting close.
It's tough
Do I have
because
a mic for next week?
We have a mic for you, Ezra. Don't worry.
if like in the AFC, if the Colts and the Dolphins lose this week, the playoff picture is basically done.
Yeah.
Like I think those 7, the Broncos and the Chargers basically get in then. And then if the NFC, if the Packers and the Commanders win this week, I think basically the NFC playoff picture is done too. I think that's basically what it is.
The only thing we're going to come down to is who will the NFC South, who will the NFC West.
Yeah, I think
we know the teams.
That's about it.
There's
That's the only thing. And then again,
there's
the
9
AFC,
teams. There's 9 teams on each side that are in.
Yeah,
that are in the hunt, and that's it. Everybody else is.
There is a
out.
way too where the Rams and the Seahawks, one of those teams loses the division but sneaks in if Washington loses a couple games.
But I don't think it'll happen.
I don't think so either because Washington doesn't have the toughest schedule coming up besides Philly. I don't think the Packers will drop 3 games to lose it.
So yeah. All right. That's another episode. Thank us to you guys all for listening or not listening. I don't really care enough. And we will see you guys next time.